did manage to bring that one out against the Syndra of Xerath in that victory over SK Gaming last week, and he looked very, very scary on it.
Yeah, it was the game where he had teleport, and he didn't do too much early game, but once he picked up a Void Staff, he just killed Freddy in one-on-one, and he carried pretty much the late game for Roccat, and looked very, very good on the fist, picked up a lot of farm early on as well. And I like how the bans have really changed. If you go a few weeks back, we had the same bans pretty much every single game. Like KaSing, Kale was always, Jax was always banned away. Now, mixing it up, I mean, Fizz, Gragas being banned away here seems really weird if you go a few weeks back. But it simply means patches change, new champions come up here, and Gragas has definitely been a top pick for every region now up in his top lane.
And Twisted Fate, the final ban for Roccat, not wanting Selfie to get his hands on that. Be able to put down some global pressure with that Destiny ultimate. So for the Super Hot crew then, where does that leave them? In fact, both of these junglers have been playing something a little bit different from the, you know, the top 3 tier that we always talk about, the Elise, the Evelyn, and Lucian that's banned out this time.
So a lot of teams start to say VandeR is going to be up there with the rest of them. You have other jungle champions like Vi and Jarvan just under them here. There's a lot of jungle options. So with Lucian being banned away, you kind of take the top dog, but then you leave a big pile of a lot of still strong champions. I think Elise is up there with Lucian as one of the best picks, so wouldn't surprise me to see Roccat take Elise here for Jankos. It's a champion he's played a lot in the past, always does a lot of work on. And if they take VandeR here, it could be to take it away from someone like Impaler.
Well, MrRalleZ getting his Lucian there. Don't forget, guys, we are on 4.11 here, so not the new Lucian up until now, but obviously we should be seeing that a little bit later on in the season once that does become available and we move over onto that patch. On the other side then, currently hovering over Rengar, champion which Impaler, of course, did play last week in the game against Gambit.
And built full damage with some cooldown reduction. Assassin Rengar build we have seen, especially very strong if you have a lot of split pushing going on. Nobody actually picking Lulu yet. It's been a top pick for a lot of teams, but seems to be going through the champ select here so far.
See that Evelyn was switched away, or switched to from Rengar before, and also taking the Braum for support role. So VandeR gonna get his hands on that, and we were always saying that VandeR, when he was in form, specifically in the spring split, his Thresh was absolute king. But last week he showed us once again playing Braum in the win against Alliance, and also picking up Nami. No, that's a lot. Yeah, it was Nami against SK Gaming with the Lucian in that bottom lane. We'll see, though, how that team develops. For now, the Super Hot crew have, in fact, locked in Orianna pretty quickly there for Selfie.
Been one of the safe mid lane picks for a few weeks because you are so strong in the laning phase. Your mid game, somewhat sloppy, you could say, but as long as you get some good farm early on, you can rush into your Fiends, into your Death Cap, into your Void Staff, and then hit your late game point fairly early and be very, very strong in team fights. And of course, with all the utility you bring, I mean, Shyvana just locked in, put the ball on Shyvana, jump in from far flank, and you have a perfect setup for an ulti here. So standard picks coming in from Super Hot crew, but very, very strong in team fights already if you look at all their picks.
And Mimer we know as a incredibly strong Shyvana player. Played it against Gambit last week as well in their victory week 8. So that's a comfort pick definitely for him on that side.
And they can also go Rengar now with Orianna, with Shyvana. Shyvana flanks around, stealth in from Rengar, give him the ball instead, and you have some insane AoE wombo combo engage you can just try and surprise Roccat with. I mean, Evelyn is going to be a hard one to catch because she want to look for flanks as well, but someone like Braum is going to be standing next to his AD carry anyhow, so he should be able to get at least a few members together and try and wombo combo them down.
So for Roccat then, no Lucian available for Celaver. What will he go for this time around here? Did see last week played the Lucian against SK Gaming and against Alliance, so gonna have to be something different this time around. Deciding to go then for Corki. We'll also see Aatrox being locked in here for the top lane.
So Roccat definitely looking for a strong mid game here with both Aatrox and Corki, both are good laners. Very strong in the mid game point as well. Once you get Blade of the Rune King on Aatrox, you should be able to duel most champions in a one-on-one and look to split push. Late game again, you become basically a tank. Your damage doesn't really do too much, but you are very annoying to deal with because of your passive, because of the Guardian Angel. You're gonna build late game as well. And Corki, just been a standard pick against Lucian because you can deal with him in the laning phase, and because you are so strong in the mid game, will slightly fall off in the late game, but not too bad actually. Corki with Infinity Edge late game is just fine.
So what will the Super Hot crew settle with then? Elise seems like a pretty standard pick here with Evelyn over on the other side with Lucian banned away. or of course could go for that Rengar that he did in fact go for last week. Also the switch over here, last couple of seconds towards Morgana and then back away. So it's going to be Thresh support with Lucian in the lane and Elise jungle for the Super Hot crew.
So Elise jungle, you have Orianna, you have Lucian. Just a very, very strong siege comp here from Super Hot crew where they can group fairly early, start pushing down towers. You have a lot of range, a lot of poke. You have disengage on a lot of the champions too. It's a very, very good setup, and I'm surprised actually Roccat didn't take Elise. I still feel like she's up there with Lee Sin as the top jungler, and she fits really well with something like Corki, because you can group early, and then you can do the siege with Corki and the poke and the range from Elise. Evelyn is not a champion you siege a tower with. You're actually looking more for picks instead with Evelyn. So I need to see what the mid lane pick is gonna be here for Roccat, with so many mid lane bans as well, like KaSing, Yasuo, Twisted Fate, and of course Fizz being taken away. Lulu could be an option for Overpow, but he's not been a champion where he's done well.
No, and we've seen very mixed Lulu performances, I think, especially since the changes, which are a while ago. Xerath, of course, which we did see him play a couple of weeks ago, was actually banned out against Roccat by SK Gaming in their first matchup in the last week. So Overpow going to bring the Xerath to the table once again. And
we've seen Faker play it as well, once in OGN, where he destroyed people. I believe he went like 9-1 on it and just kept killing people left and right. So good laning phase from Roccat here, with you have Corki, of course, Overpow in the mid lane, and Xerath here very strong in the lane, or fine in the laning phase, and then his mid late game points become very, very strong. So much poke potential with Corki and Xerath here, and then if you get someone low, you can engage from it. But Super Hot crew's team fight late game is just so scary to deal with, especially because there's some immobile champions on Roccat, where Shyvana can jump towards them with the ball from Orianna as well, and you just have hit one of these, either the Orianna ult or the Shyvana ult, and you should be able to get onto the immobile targets and just kill them instantly. But a lot of poke here, and if the mid game works for Roccat, they might be able to finish the game fairly fast.
Well, guys, with those champions, who do you think has the hedge? The hedge? The edge. That'd be better than the hedge. Tweet hashtag SHC win or hashtag ROC win to @LOL Esports, and we'll check out the results in the game itself. Now, interesting one, middle of the table clash, and the fact is that since Alliance and SK Gaming up there have been having a bit of a rocky time, this, what was a very clear top of the table and mid table, is starting to merge into one, which makes this game so important. Yeah,
remember the top 2 spots in the league go straight into the semifinal, so don't have to play a quarterfinal there. Gonna be there where basically win 1, best out of 5, and you are at Worlds. So getting a top 2 spot here, if they can manage to knock Alliance down a little bit by keep winning either Roccat or Super Hot crew, would be a huge deal for these two teams.
Well, going to be an important one, like we said. Roccat on a bit of a roll right now, and they seem a little bit unstoppable, to be honest. We'll see, though, if this one changes here, because we're going to get into game. It's the Super Hot crew versus Roccat, our first matchup of Week 9 in the European LCS. It's a good day to cosplay as Tryndamere, because you get to take your shirt off because it's boiling here in Cologne.
It is very, very hot. We should actually cast topless. No?
I was going to cosplay as Gragas, but security wouldn't let me in.
Well, mid lane matchup here. Normally Orianna is doing really well against pretty much everything in the laning phase. You can always pick up a lot of farm. Once you pick up your Fiends, you can go to the Wraith camp, start picking up some extra farm here. I really want to see what Overpow can do against him. And if Roccat is looking for some mid-game fights here with the Corki, with the Aatrox, where they will be very, very strong, and try and get a lead, use it going into the late game, and just start poking down Super Hot crew so they won't be able to do anything. And KaSing might be an issue here if Jankos spots him.
He's in a lot of trouble. There's the knock-up coming in from Xaxus, and KaSing completely caught out of this one, and he's gonna go down. First blood coming in after just a minute here for Roccat, and it's Overpow in the mid lane that gets the kill. Everyone else picking up an assist. Brilliant start.
Yeah, some very good research here by Roccat, knowing there's a high chance someone is just standing here waiting, and Xaxus jumps in, lands the knock-up onto him, and they just collapse and kill him. Here's a good start from Roccat.
Brilliant start. Doesn't really get much better than that, does it? And we can see here the Super Hot crew now a little bit scared about what they do on this bottom side of the map. A Roccat ward was put down as things went on, and we can see that Impaler and Selfie going to be coming over towards this bottom side of the map. Looks like we will be seeing lane swaps, though, being initiated by the Super Hot crew.
And remember here in 4.11, you actually get a little bit more gold for your first spot before 2 minutes. So Overpow was able to go back and buy boots from it. If you go back to like 4.10 earlier, you would actually only be able to go back by a potion, by a few wards if you wanted to. So now we can actually get boots from the first spot, so even better start for Roccat.
And there is the vote, 56%, and only a 1% change from the vote from LOLesports.com. Now 2%, of course, as that continues to change. And keep tweeting us your thoughts on that one as well, to who you think is going to win this game, to @LOLesports. And right now, top lane, as I said, lane swap coming in. MrRalleZ and KaSing going to be going up to that top lane against Xaxus.
So here, lane swaps as well in 4.11 is a little bit different. The tower does more damage, and you only need 2 shots to get the 75% bonus damage from towers. So diving early on is a lot harder. And also their XP range is actually up to 1400 now, been buffed by 150, which means Mimer can stay down this lane and actually get XP from the minions just by staying just around his own tower and moving back and forth like we have seen. Already hit level 2 now. It's a lot harder to zone them away unless you get the wave to push all the way up to your side of the lane, which is what Roccat is trying to do now, but at least Mimer can get some XP early, which is the most important thing. You can ignore the gold. In the start, it's all about getting XP.
Well, we saw there as well in the middle lane, the jungle is starting to get involved. Impaler's actually coming up to this top side. Will they try something here at level 3 or level 2 as the duo lane is? Xaxus, I think, taking the wise decision and starting to move away. And whilst you are right there in terms of the tower damage and maybe a lot scarier to be diving at this point, still worth it to collapse on those turrets to force that solo laner away from it and really starve him of the XP. Bottom lane might be a bit more dangerous though, because Evelyn has snuck all the way around the back.
KaSing already recalled. Same for Impaler. They're moving on towards this bottom lane here. In case Roccat goes for the dive, they might try and join in. Mimer is already level 3 and running away.
Yeah, I think already got himself to safety, so whether he can get in there, and there's a nice little lantern down by KaSing, and that will stop Mimer being in too much trouble. However, Super Hot Crew just trying to push them completely away from this one. There's a flash out to the land on towards VandeR, but he's got no aggro from the turret, so whilst it was a good move from KaSing, they didn't really get what they were looking for, but now they've managed to catch Impaler as well. He's going to rappel up in the air. Can he get back towards the turret? Jankos falling decently low. Flash comes in. Here comes the TP down to the bottom lane as well. Jankos is going to go down to Impaler. Impaler gets away. Mimer won't though, and now KaSing going to be knocked up in the air. The damage all coming his way. Hasn't got enough. There's the stun. Xerath gets the kill, and that will be his first, but Rockat's third. And they can even come in towards Impaler. He's trying to hold them away from turret range. TP will come down towards his bottom lane.
What are you doing,
VandeR? Cocoon has to flash away. Crazy stuff here.
So much action here. They were fighting between the 2 towers, and then we had the teleport coming down from Xaxus. MrRalleZ, of course, in this top lane couldn't join in, so Roccat quickly turned it in their favor and picked up 2 kills. Early on, might go for Dragon now. Wow. Be very, very risky. I mean, okay, never mind. Jankos is actually joining in.
Jankos joining in, but Super Hot Crew do have vision of this one. We'll see Overpow move from middle as well, so full 5-man team at Dragon here for Roccat. But Super Hot Crew are there, and we see a couple of men still level 3 in that one. Could still be very dangerous. Dragon's down to less than half. Xerath not going to go down. He'll get his blood well popped though. KaSing the next focus here for Roccat. Dragon's still up. Xerath is low. That should be the easy target for them. He dives on towards Selfie. He goes down for the double. We see Impaler actually fall in there after getting the kill, but Mimer's not done yet. That's a great stun. Can he get on towards VandeR? He's got no flash. Can't catch up with him. And the Super Hot Crew bring it back to 4-4.
So much action here early on. Roccat felt confident they could start the Dragon because Jankos returned to join the team with full HP, full mana from the base. But the rest of Super Crew was nearby, stopped the Dragon, killed some members as well, and now pushing into this mid tower to deny as much farm as possible away from Overpow. So very good start by Roccat, and then over-aggressive, and Super Crew turned around. And MrRalleZ in the top lane as well got a very easy tower.
Had that feeling as well when they kind of delayed a little bit around the Dragon, knowing a couple of them were still or already at half HP. The Super Hot Crew, after losing a couple, had gone back to base, come back with full HP men. And, well, since all the summoners were pretty much blown before that fight anyway, not much to escape with. Leaves us at 4-4. Almost, well, not quite 1,000 gold, 500-600 gold for the Super Hot Crew, but looks like they could be going straight back towards Dragon, if not just to check it and take a look.
But look here, with all the kills Super Crew just picked up around the Dragon, everyone went back, bought some wards, pink wards, green wards for a lot of the members here, so they're gonna try and establish a lot of vision control. MrRalleZ just want to get as much farm under the tower here as possible. I'm not sure if Roccat, but I was a little bit surprised about how short the death timers are here early, because I don't think they expected 4 members from SUPA crew after they just killed some of them to be around the dragon so far and stop them from doing it. They were probably just expecting it. It's going to be an easy one. SUPA crew will give it up. We take the dragon. We go back to our lanes and trade it for the top tower. Nope. End up actually throwing away the entire lead.
Let's have a look down some farm here, because it's been definitely more about farming. In fact, let's just forget that, because they're doing dragon now here on the SUPA crew. We can see that Impaler is the one tanking up the most of that damage there, but should be able to juggle that around, and we'll be able to take the first one of the game here at 7.5 minutes. VandeR has to be a little bit careful about this one. Don't think they can really push through, but this game just breaking all of the norms. If you look at the stats from these two teams, early tower kills for them, lots more kills than we used to by 750, and earlier dragons than their averages as well. So a very action-packed early game.
That's a cool little trick you can do with Elise. If you feel like they don't have any wards, so you know they have no wards, you can just repel from behind the dragon pit into the dragon and start it. Really helps as well now with Elise, and you're building Spectral Wraith, so you get some early ability power, helps you solo the dragon here early on. I want to see if Impaler wants to build more magic penetration after his Spectral Wraiths. Something we have seen where you go hunting guys and you focus on becoming very, very strong in just small, quick poke fights. And early on, you're so strong in like 1-on-1 to 2-on-2s. You will be squishy for a team fight, but if you find a counter gank, you will do a lot of damage with the early magic penetration build.
See his top lane as well. When we talk about who's got the advantage, Mimer got a slight level advantage over Xerath. We've just seen him hit level 6. Close to a 10 CS lead as well there for Mimer. So things going well on that front for the SUPA Hot crew. In middle, they're slightly ahead as well. The 2-0-1 on Selfie is going to help him get to that strength or even stronger point on Orianna.
Another really bad thing about the dragon for Roccat was the fact they used so much time on waiting around and start the dragon and then get forced away where they didn't pick up any farm. So Mimer had some extra farm here. Xaxus went straight to the dragon after the fight, where Mimer went back to lane, picked up the farm, and then joined in afterwards. And of course, MrRalleZ, who was not even in the fight. There's only 4 members from SUPA Hot crew. We're just farming the top lane, so he's far ahead now compared to Celaver. SUPA Hot crew can definitely be happy. You see both jungles up in his top lane.
Mimer going to play this one because Impaler is going to be waiting here. We see there the ultimate going to be used, and Impaler going to jump out, but it may just be to save him rather than anything else. And we saw that Aatrox went down to less than half HP. Bloodwell back available after it was popped, and it was taken down in that earlier fight. But in the end, both junglers there. Bit of damage done, but no kills coming out. Celaver will get hugged, but he's too close to the turret for any kill.
Seemed like a little bit of miscommunication from SUPA crew in the top lane. Mimer jumped all the way back to Impaler while he fired the cocoon the other way, so they couldn't actually collapse onto a target. We saw the damage Impaler could do by himself. If Mimer had used ult onto Jankos, could have been able to pick up a kill here. But played it safe and just forced them away. And now taking some of the jungle, getting some good deep wards very early on as well.
Nice bit of vision and a 2,000 gold lead for the SUPA Hot crew. Selfie continuing to the damage and rack up that CS in the mid lane, as we just saw, stealing away Wraith camps as well, which always is going to add to that total as he goes forward. Probably got enough here to at least finish off that Athenes, but no real reason for him to move. He's got 1,800 gold, but the blue buff on and a pretty free time in that mid lane. He's probably just going to stick around and farm it.
Yeah, it starts already, farming the Wraiths, push out your own lane, go to either the enemy Wraith with your jungler, or go to your own Wraith camp and just pick up as much farm as possible, which we have seen from the Oriannas. Again, ex-KMT and Froggen set the CS records, I believe it was last week, or in the Super Week. On Orianna, of course, against Overpow actually, where they could manage to push up the waves every time against him, force him to farm on the tower, and then just walk around the map and pick up as much farm as they want to.
It's funny really as well, considering how much action we've had in this game, that both mid laners at 10 minutes are actually way above their average CS levels at 10 minutes for the rest of the season. Even when we've had that dragon intent and the kills and the early start to this matchup. So this just shows you how well they're doing on both sides of this at keeping the farm in. Both have got the Athenes now as well.
And really notice how well SUPA Hot Crew is controlling Jankos in this game here. They had a ward around the big race, so once Jankos did it, he popped out of stealth, they pinged him instantly and knew he was around the bottom lane. So Impaler, he walked down to join them in case Jankos came in for a gank. He would be able to have turned it around. So SUPA Hot Crew doing a very good job getting into deep wards, spotting out Jankos, and making sure he won't be able to have the impact he normally has when Roccat actually win games.
And that was obviously the game plan. We heard them say
100%.
in the video before this game that Jankos is going to be dangerous, that they need to keep tabs on him as VandeR going to dive into this one. They get the knock up on towards KaSing. Corki going to Valkyrie in the boxes down there for the disengage, but KaSing will actually hook Celaver. Here comes Impaler. Jankos is there though as well. KaSing goes down to Celaver. Can they get MrRalleZ as well? Not quite. Overpow even started to move down. Roccat get the kill, but no more than that single one.
So very good engage by VandeR here, popping everything, ulti, both summoners just to try and get a kill here. Did actually lose the tower because the minions were just left to deal as much damage as possible. And Jankos just joined in the very end to pick up an assist. Has been part of every single kill because he was part of the fight in this bottom lane and around the dragon. Didn't manage to get any kills for himself, however.
100% kill participation shows you how important Jankos is. And we've seen it time and time again that when Jankos is not on form or not in the right place and where you'd expect him to be, that Roccat certainly struggle in these earlier stages of the match. We're 13 minutes in now, and there's about a 1,500 gold lead as the hook from KaSing starts to come out. Instant Valkyrie away from Celaver, not taking any chances, and rightly so. Dragon, the second one of the game, will be coming up here in less than 20 seconds time.
And remember, Roccat didn't have a timer on the last one. There was no ward. VandeR walked in there after the dragon had died and just saw some members from SUPA Hot Crew. So they shouldn't be able to have the exact timer. And SUPA Hot Crew did actually a very smart job here of delaying, moving into the river and put down wards till about 20 seconds before. So now Roccat probably knows it's spawning, or they can already see on the minimap it's spawned. But it's very hard to react because SUPA Hot Crew moved in a few seconds before it actually spawned and put up their wards.
Selfie. Oh, that's a good shockwave. I didn't think he was going to land on both of them. Did manage to get both down. Takes a lantern as well. There's the ultimate coming out of Overpow, but it's too late. No kill for Roccat, and the dragon already secured for the SUPA Hot Crew.
All right, need to get into this mid lane, however, because Roccat are there to push it down. Only MrRalleZ can join in. No calling, however, so he won't be able to clear the wave, and Selfie might be in trouble.
Look to be sleeping on the job there, or at least maybe shopping on the job, and almost getting caught out, taking a selfie maybe.
It was the easy one, man.
It was. Take it. I know. I totally missed my opportunity there. They did manage to save this turret, at least for now, though, in the mid lane, moving up 2 guys, or 3 guys it was by the end. However, Roccat not looking like they're going to back away from this one here. We'll see if they can force them off with just a sheer numbers advantage. Stun goes down onto MrRalleZ. He needs to be really careful. Almost connecting there. Not quite. Cocoon, though, onto Overpow. Summon a heal having to be used by Celaver.
Roccat took a lot of damage here because they were actually tanking the tower for some of the time, both Celaver and Overpow. But a good job by Roccat, at least after the dragon was lost, to instantly group in the mid lane, push it down, try and get a tower in case SUPA Hot Crew just recalled. And now SUPA Hot Crew can do the exact same thing to Roccat and take it because Overpow is back in base.
Well, they'll do even better. There's the ultimate coming out from both VandeR and Jankos. Who are they going for? They're kind of split half and half right now. And there is finally Xaxus joining the party. Will flash in. MrRalleZ will flash himself. He has to turn back around and have a go at Selfie in the Cologne. Almost knocked it down. Wow, last second Valkyrie away from the shockwave. Xaxus had his bloodwell pop. Will be finished off by Mimer as well after the damage from Selfie. And the SUPA Hot Crew once again kiting back, managing to go 2 for 1.
So Overpow back in base. Roccat didn't really have enough damage to actually fight here. The whole plan was for Xaxus to teleport behind, and then Roccat had to engage in time before the tower actually went down, so that the assistance from the tower. However, MrRalleZ finished it off, took a lot of damage in exchange for it. Xaxus joins in here, but now SUPA Hot Crew, because Mimer is running from this top lane and Overpow is just joining the fight now, will be able to turn it around and trade 2 for 1. And ulti from Selfie, just missing Celaver here. Good moves.
Well, I'm not going to call it a miss. I'm going to say Celaver, nice reactions on the Valkyrie
of course,
to get away from it. Either way, didn't connect, managed to keep him alive, and now Roccat, I'm going to say maybe pushing in, but with the hook and still a lot of damage from Selfie, even without that shockwave available, not worth trying to go through. So, where do we stand after that one? 4,000 gold now is the lead for the SUPA Hot Crew. They're up 3-1 in turrets. Still tied here on kills, but if you look where they're spread about, Elise 3-1-2, going to give him that little spike and extra gold that he needs to be more dangerous here. approaching the 20-minute mark. We also saw Selfie now 203, blasting one added in on top of his Sorcerer Shoes and the Athenes.
All this early gold here for Impaler, he's going straight into Roccat, giving him the extra magic resist for the rest of, for the shield as well for the rest of the team. Against a lot of magic damage from the side of Roccat here, so very, very smart. I mean, Evelyn with Overpow as well. Celaver will even do some magic damage, so very good early item here, making it even harder for Roccat to teamfight here in the mid game.
Oh, Super Hot Crew charging through. Jankos, I don't think spotted there actually, was stealthed up, and only a normal ward comes down, and then a ping coming in. So Roccat try and defend this one. Stun actually, he's going to land here on towards Impaler. Shockwave does get it this time. Corki comes through, and a hook as well. Overpow still alive, but Selfie gets the finisher, and that is the danger there of the chain CC coming out by the Super Hot Crew.
Such a good setup here, and they've been controlling the jungle of Roccat throughout the entire game actually. 5 minutes in, they had 2 wards in the top side, 1 ward in the bottom side, controlling Jankos, and they just keep doing it here. Find the rest of Roccat, pick up a kill, and now focus this tower.
Sorry, it is going very low. VandeR actually going to be hooked in. A lot of damage coming his way. I think Super Hot Crew may be forced to back off from this. Their minion wave pushed all the way back to before the river, back to their outer turret point. You can see that they decide, okay, we are going to be backing away from this one. Also want to just touch on the AD carries a 40 CS lead for MrRalleZ right now. See Trinity Force for Corki. Actually, Infinity Edge was the first item here for MrRalleZ.
So with all the early farms, the towers, with the dragons, he felt like he can go straight into Infinity Edge and reach his late game point as fast as possible. Didn't need Blade or Ghost Blade because there was no real mid game for him with all the gold he's picked up. So I actually like the decision here, and also late game wise, we've already talked about how strong Super Hot Crew will be in the team fights. So getting the Infinity Edge first and go as fast as possible to your late game power spike makes a lot of sense here. Still, it opens up for Roccat, a small door where they will be a little bit stronger here in the mid game with Celaver on Corki. But because they already are behind, it can be very hard for him to actually get the right team fights now, and might be forced to go into late game here and will then need to outplay Super Hot Crew.
Well, that's the funny thing. If we look at both of these teams in their late game, the Super Hot Crew, a team that have got to the late game with advantages so many times and made that one fatal error. Yeah. And it's not just once or twice, it's happened fairly regularly for them. Roccat, on the other hand, they're a team that plays so super careful in the late game because they'd previously made those mistakes as well. It just goes to show that everything's got to be perfect. As we heard in the video before the game, that late game, it's about avoiding the mistakes rather than doing everything perfectly.
We've seen time and time again where even early game comms could punish a team in late game and actually win the game. And with a player like Overpow, there's always a chance. If he snipes someone in the late game, turn it into 4v5, Roccat might be able to just win the fight and then win the game. So nothing is certain yet, and I definitely agree. We have seen Super Hot Crew too many times in the late game make a very bad engage or just a stupid decision and lose the entire game.
Well, for now, they do hold a lead, so can't really knock them on that front. They're going to extend that lead here as well, taking another dragon almost bang on the 20-minute mark of this match. I can see that now grants them the 5,500 gold lead at 20 minutes on the clock. All 3 dragons under control for them. One of our big points in the pre-game of this one is that Roccat have done recently a lot better when it comes to dragon control. This game, however, they made that mistake, I would call it, around the first dragon to end up losing kills and the dragon itself, and have since not been able to get it back.
It was all about the very first dragon. Started so early on by Roccat where they lost it, and then Super Hot Crew managed to sneak it afterwards with Impaler jumping behind it. Selfie might be in trouble though. Jankos going for him.
Jankos diving in. We see the TP coming down onto that pink ward that wasn't quite finished off. Good lantern though from the side from KaSing will make sure that while Selfie takes the damage, he's not actually going to be falling. And that allows them maybe to sit around and siege up somewhat on this tower. We can see, that whole combo, the Elise Thresh. If one of them, if the hook comes in, the cocoon's easy, and the other way around as well. So we'll see how they manage to get anyone and whether Roccat might just be forced to back away. There is a cocoon landing. They don't follow through. They get the inner turret though.
You can also see on the item build here from Mimer, first item, Blade the Rune King, just full focus on split pushing. And you just saw them push up the top lane, push the mid lane, and then Mimer, once they actually got to the tower, he just went from top lane in to join the team, got a few hits, killed the tower, and can now go back to do the exact same split push as before. And it's what we talked about in Champs, so like when you have Orianna, Elise, and Lucian, like your siege potential is so strong in this game. You have so much ranged poke to the tower, to the enemy champions. And again, hook, cocoon, like you just mentioned before, even setting up an easy shockwave if Selfie wants to do it.
And speaking of Selfie, 230 CS, I was going to say, has the money for to finish his death cap and get another blasting one, which is exactly what he's just done as he goes back. He's sat at 3-0-3, and we say so often that when Selfie has these quiet games where he falls behind in CS and dies a couple of times early on, the Super Hot crew continually struggle to come back from that. But when he's in that right frame of mind where he seems to be farming really well, playing safe but still picking up kills, and especially with a champion like Orianna, where he's just going to be doing so much damage now.
But I feel like we see this too often in Europe. Whenever someone picks Orianna, they get just free time to farm whatever they want, like their own lane, the Wraith camp, the Wolf camp, and the other team don't really know how to stop it. So they skip this mid-game point where Orianna normally needs to build up items and just get straight into Death Cap, into Void Staff as the next item so early. I mean, we're only 22 minutes in, and therefore Orianna becomes this very, very strong pick. Impaler here, getting stunned, taking a lot of damage.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. Repel will put him onto the Wraith camp here, possibly actually coming right down in front and takes a Lantern. Really nicely done once again. Left Roccat guessing somewhat where he was going to come back down. And in the end, KaSing saving another team member. We've seen that time and time again from him so far in this game. There's a hook coming out. They get Jankos. Actually, he's going to follow through. Shockwave will come down as well. Jankos surely going to fall here. Does get the shield coming out. Can they finish him? It's KaSing that's going to have to do this one. Celaver now coming away. KaSing may find himself in trouble as they blast him from the side. Flashes over it towards the Dragon Pit. But there is Celaver to finish Mimer. As you rightly pointed out, it's right in their faces. And there is the jump away. VandeR had to flash out. Can he actually get away? No, double, may even be a triple. Overpow flash as well.
So Roccat were chasing for the kills here while Mimer just started teleporting right behind him. As soon as he came in, he used his ult onto multiple members and just collapsed onto Roccat here. Baron being started, 4 members, Jankos and Overpow coming in to try and stop it. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, it's going down, that one. There's the ulti actually. Pod comes slightly too late from Overpow. And that will be the Super Hot crew taking the first Baron of the game, along with those 3 dragons as well. Gives them close to a 10,000 gold lead, a 5-0-3 Orianna, and we see here once again that, I was going to say blind hook, just killing a ward there, so an easy hook in the end for Jankos with the follow-through.
So KaSing setting it up. It's actually with MrRalleZ being in the top lane farming, they go for it anyway, trying just one-shot Jankos to set up the Baron. He managed to escape here. And now Roccat, they see KaSing, they want to kill him, but notice behind them here, teleport from Mimer, and they react way too late. He joins in, hits both Celaver and VandeR, gets him very low. Rest of SUPA crew joins in and picks up so many kills. And thank you very much to my Twitter followers for saying start Selfie this week, because he's doing really well.
5-0-3, can't complain at that one. Got a Void Staff now added in after that last fight. Also taking the Alacrity boot, so going to be speeding all over the place. MrRalleZ, let's talk about him because we mentioned it earlier. Infinity Edge first item, got the Shiv in now, and also has himself a Vamp Scepter. So we'll see where he goes with that. At this point in the game, may even end up just going straight in for the likes of a Bloodthirster for that sustain and shield.
And for the shield against someone like Overpow, so he can avoid the 100% to 0 burst he can actually do here. Celaver staying behind Super crew. Probably need to recall, there's a lot of members here. No teleport on Mimer, however, so he's stuck in his top lane. Someone needs to go deal with him.
Gonna get onto the tower for now, at least. We do see that Celaver is coming back from this one, but Super Hot crew gonna do some good damage onto this one. We did also see that Jankos went for a bit of a walk in behind the enemy team, just looping all the way through. Mimer actually now gonna get sandwiched between Xaxus and Celaver. Should have the damage if they can lock him down here. There is Mimer able with the speed to get away. Now the rest of the Super Hot crew are coming in. Celaver and Xaxus need to be super careful about this one. Impaler going in. There's the cocoon landing. Xaxus gonna be the big target. Actually pretty tanky by now, so managing to actually stay alive.
Super Hot crew simply moving way faster than Roccat on the map. I mean, Mimer up in his top lane, 2 members collapsed onto him, and Super crew from the bottom lane were already moving, while the rest of Roccat were either waiting in mid lane or for some reason walking around the jungle of Super crew with Jankos on Evelyn. I'm not sure what he was looking for exactly, but it simply means another tower now for Super crew, and they keep making the moves and they keep being a lot faster than Roccat to actually react to what's going on.
The question is now, number one, can Roccat weather the storm that the Super Hot crew are putting their way? with just that inventory on the bottom lane left available. And after that, I think the key thing is forcing a mistake out of the Super Hot crew, which we definitely can't rule out, but that is a massive gold lead at this point. 11,000 gold. You see all 4 dragons, that single Baron going their way as well, and now they're trying to steal away these buffs as Jankos is going to get caught out. Actually, the Hunt missing there. There's a shockwave though onto 2 men. Where's the follow-up? It's Impaler that's out the front. Mimer's going to come in. Cocoon will land. Jankos flashes over, and there was the heal coming out there as well, which managed to keep them alive. It was actually Overpow summoning heal, but it forced them away, and this inner turret is going to be surely going down for the Super Hot crew.
So Xaxus in the top lane. He can teleport down behind, or actually to the side of Super Hot crew if they want to try and do anything. For now though, he's just going to go towards the tower. He should be able to pick it up fairly easily. So at least trade tower for tower. Nobody died for Roccat here, and getting some global gold now, which they really need.
Sadly, the tower's not worth 11,000 gold.
They should be.
That's what they need at this point, and only the second tower of the game that one was. And look at how much gold is still to be spent here. I've actually seen them recall in a way so that they could pick up a couple of those items and spend all of that cash. You see the BF sword for MrRalleZ, so looking like he will be going towards that Bloodthirster. Haunting guys, a Locket of the Iron Solari for Impaler. Shyvana now got Blade of the Ruin King and that Randuin's from earlier, and now he's going to get some more magic resist in there too.
Everyone is so rich here on the side of Super Hot crew, except for maybe MrRalleZ. Only the 4 assists, unlucky for him. The rest of the members can be very, very happy.
Still 1,500 gold more than
I don't think he
Celaver.
complains. I mean, he's not exactly poor. There's a lot of gold here. Super Hot crew didn't break into the base yet of Roccat. Just been taking every single outer turret away and get as much gold as possible. Focusing again on getting dragons. Put a lot of focus on the Baron before. You might see them wait for the next Baron now before they want to do anything and try and take it again, or bait Roccat into the same kind of situation where Roccat is forced to go in and try and stop them, and then they land the hook or land an engage and just win the team fight.
Now we see Roccat trying to set up somewhat of a trap, or at least get some vision down, as a Pinky's put right on top of VandeR's ward, and that'll mean he's got no vision there now either, and the Baron will be coming up in less than 2 minutes time. Not that the Super Hot crew particularly need it at this point, but they either at this stage, I think with that kind of lead, force Roccat to come and go for it, or leave it and get a free Baron anyway.
We have to remember though, there's a lot of poke on the side of Roccat here with both Overpow and Celaver. Celaver actually 4-2-2 on his Corki. A champion he always does well on. Can still do a lot of damage here with his Roccat, and if he gets to just stand here and fire away on someone like MrRalleZ or Selfie, that's a lot of damage too.
Wow, there's a shockwave coming through. VandeR actually blocking out pretty much what would have been a double kill there with the Culling. It's going to be enough though for Roccat to be sent packing back to base, and the Super Hot crew able to then pick up the turret. Xerath's going to dive in there though. See how low he falls, and there is a Bloodwell pop. The hook comes through, which is a little early, but they get the kill nonetheless. This should be in the inhibitor as well, and you see that Selfie, so much damage. He's a full death cap ahead of Overpow right now, just to show you how far in front he is. And that is the first inhibitor of the game going down. Top wave as well, which means they're going to have to sit there, defend that one, and should mean an easy Baron for the Super Hot crew.
And now going back again to even buy more items and then regroup around the Baron, spawning in 30 seconds. Again, as you just said, they don't actually need it. They could just go up mid lane, do the same thing, go down to this bottom lane. Impaler though, might actually die here.
May die. May die. We'll
May.
see about that one. He's just like, yeah, I'm going to throw the Cocoon into the flash from Celaver. And May, that's exactly what I may die, because I had a feeling, Jankos going to come around. Doesn't have his ultimate available, doesn't have a flash to chase. Impaler got no flash either. There is a hate spike coming through. Yeah, that's not going to really bring you much, but Impaler, will it go down? Another Cocoon coming in there, the Lantern, and Impaler escaped what looked like 2 certain deaths. And now he's going to recall in peace.
It bought him enough time for KaSing to flash Lantern him and save him here. So they really wanted to keep the jungle alive. Weird enough, because they want to start the Baron. Now just waiting for him. The rest of Roccat still staying around. They're getting actually some very good wards in their own jungle. Some pink wards to make sure Super Hot crew doesn't control everything on the map. And might look for Roccat to try and set something up if they can manage to steal the Baron. Pick up a few kills. All of a sudden, they are back in the game.
It's
a big if.
It's the mistakes from the Super Hot crew that we've talked about and seen even time and time again. If Roccat to come into this one, they need those, maybe not even just one mistake at this point. It's possibly going to take more from them. It's 13,000 gold that SUPA crew have a lead. There is the Baron start off. Jankos is off to the side. Actually, he's going to be spotted and hooked. That means he's blasted down. Finished off here in the end by MrRalleZ. And they can either go back to the Baron, which I think they will, with Jungler down, and take it for free.
Yeah, they got the rest of Roccat already backing away. See Xaxus defending the base, and Overpow will try and steal it with his ult. They can just delay it now and wait for his ult to run out. Already cancel it, backed away. So Baron for SUPA crew. But another pick here from KaSing, setting it up with a hook onto someone. Yeah, it's actually been Jankos both times. The set up there.
And if you look at KaSing, we talked about his KDA and how well he's fit into this SUPA crew team. Yes, he's died 5 times, which is a lot more than the rest of his team combined even. But he's had such important hooks and probably even more importantly lanterns earlier on in the game to really save a couple of his team members. And you never quite know if those kills had maybe gone Rockat's way, it could have been different. Right now the SUPA crew pushing in onto that second inhibitor turret. Bottom lane was pushed out and minions done about half damage to the inner turret in the bottom lane, but they've not got enough power here to stop the SUPA crew just walking on in, taking the second inhibitor. Celaver got caught out, he's died to Mimer, and that's now a 5 versus 4. This could be the game for the SUPA crew.
They're pushing upward, waiting for super minions. They're coming with this top wave up here. Need them to get into the tower. Still a little bit too early to just tank up 2 towers. Selfie, however, he doesn't actually care.
I was going to say, you say that, and then Selfie just walks on in. Mimer right at the front there as well. Ulti actually coming out of VandeR, but that's only going to delay them, not really stop them from doing anything. They focus down both Nexus. Did he actually get the drawing there as well from it as well? Either way, nicely done, the SUPA crew here. Finish it in 33 minutes and 33 seconds exactly. A very convincing win for them.
A very, very strong performance by SUPA crew. Didn't even take any chances here. I mean, they only went Baron once they picked up a few kills against Roccat. Then they took the Baron. Second time around again, waiting for Jankos to show himself. Landed the hook here, killed him as well. And then they took the Baron. So very dominant performance. Everything started at the very first dragon, which Roccat started himself, and then SUPA crew just controlled the game.
And that didn't look like a team. Roccat won so many. You were on that little streak going forward. Didn't really have much to say in this game, except if we go right back to the very beginning, where they started off, I think they were 4-1 up, or 3-1 up certainly, until they did that move down the bottom where they were fighting in between turrets. They had to flash left and right. VandeR in particular got, I think Cocoon was underneath the enemy turret and was taking it. And then they said, okay, we forced them away, let's start Dragon. But it was still about 6, 7, 8 minutes into the game, and the SUPA crew simply healed up or respawned in for the couple of guys that they'd lost and came in full HP, able to take the first Dragon, and they didn't give up Dragon after that.
Just kept taking the Dragon. It's got a lot of towers as well. The early siege they could deal with Lucian, Elise, and Orianna, of course. They used it really well as soon as they got ahead. And the mid-game combo, the mid-game AD carry at least, or AD carry in top lane, was what I'm trying to say.
All of them in the mid-game.
All of them, except for Overpow, who was strong in the late game. The rest was mid-game champs from Roccat here. Never really got to a mid-game point where they were stronger, so they never had anything to do in the game. We were just waiting